All right, welcome to the Life Reading Club mentorship series. In the last two sessions, last session we talked about why it's important for your mentor to be clear what roles they occupy, what hats they wear. We also said that when we met that it is not advisable for a mentor to wear too many hats because they may end up being overwhelmed. They're humans. Or even if they don't get overwhelmed, they get ineffective. So the next part of this, we talked about some of the characteristics of a good mentor. I will talk a little bit more about that today. And secondly, we'll look at formats of mentorship. So that's the new area we're going to be going, different formats. Is it dyadic? Is it informal? Different ways that we can establish a mentor relationship. So we're also going to be starting to read a new book, and I welcome us to read chapter 1 and chapter 2 of this book by the legendary John Maxwell. He wrote a book on mentoring called Mentoring 101. So I will, if you join the group, the coordinator will send you a copy of the book, and you are to read at least chapter 1 and chapter 2. But really quickly, just to set the tone for our conversation. So by dyadic, I just mean the typical one-on-one dyad, two people, one-on-one mentorship relationships. And this has been the most common. This has been particularly in formal settings. So your supervisor at work, usually it's a one-on-one. But particularly for many of us that, for example, if you follow maybe your lead pastor or some very successful person, as people get hired, they don't have the time for one-on-one relationships. And so at some point, there has to be different formats. So we will begin to explore some different formats. So for example, group mentorship, like one person to two people, so one person mentoring two people, or we could even look at two people mentoring one person. And so, as again, in the last video, we talked about identifying a mentor. And so, one thing to consider that we'll talk about this time is: can more than two people or two or more people mentor me in one area of my life? And then in this, something else I will do is, as I began to read about this, we talked about the story of Peter in John chapter 21. And I will draw some really, really rich lessons from that chapter. So we'll read from verse 15 to the end. I'd like you to read that and really try to meditate upon it, and hopefully it will shape our conversation when we meet. I will use that to talk about the 80-20 principle, which if you also read John Maxwell's book, chapter 1 and chapter 2, you will see where that comes up. And also the same principle comes up in the book I have been using, the book by Lamonaka Wisdom, Dr. Wisdom. And so I like that principle. I'll talk about it as well. Finally, I will like you to begin to practice some of these things we're talking about. So I will welcome you to let us know if you would like to be mentored on one thing, just one thing. And please don't make it a very big thing. It can be a big thing, but the goal here is to practice the process of group mentoring. Okay, where you will submit yourself to some mentoring by two other people. They don't have to be in your field, but the principles that we learn will apply even in other places. So I welcome you to please email me or send a message to this phone number, and that message, just say your name, what area you would like to be mentored in, or something you want to achieve that you want some people to mentor you. This mentorship relationship will not go beyond 1 month of this course, but the goal is to teach us how to peer mentor and how to group mentor. And that's it. I look forward to our meeting again in a few days.